The ZX10 Masters Cup is proudly brought to you by Red Square for ultimate activation and Bridgestone motorcycle tyres. Hello and welcome to Zwartkops Raceway. It's round 4 action of the 2018 Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup Championship. The sun is shining, the crowd has come out, and the championship is really starting to heat up now. Final preparations in pit lane before all 20 riders head out onto the track for their first race. One of those men looking to get into that podium contention is Gareth Bazanot, starting to find some form now in the season.
I've been struggling with setup the whole weekend. I've gone from one direction to the other and I'm just not really finding a happy medium with the bike. I was hoping to get into at least mid-4s this morning on the fresh rubber. I managed 5 dead yesterday, but I still only could run low 5s in qualifying, so I'm pretty disappointed with that. But yeah, we've got some work to do around this track. For some reason I've lost quite a lot of pace here and I'm struggling to get it back. But well done to Sven for a great qualifying lap. Really quick, and well done to Graham as well. He's running a good pace.
Certainly the pace is hot here this weekend at Zwartkops Raceway. Lap times are tumbling. Great to see so many riders here once again taking part in what is one of the most successful two-wheeled motorcycle racing categories South Africa has ever seen. Sven Gruner there, he knows he's got to do some damage now on Graham van Breda in the championship. Van Breda not on his number 1 race bike this weekend, borrowing the bike from Rodney McLaughlin, so some work to do there for Graham. But it's time for the riders to get ready and head out on track for race number 1. Here we go then, let's take a look at the grid. It's Sven Gruner, Graham van Breda, Gareth Bazanot and Peter de Vos in 4th place.
Quick lap time from Sven Gruner, Jaco Goos, Michael Smith, Apanaganapathy, also a great time, just ahead of Teddy Brook.
Just behind them, John T. Collard, Rodney McLaughlin, Johan Leroux and Jacques Ackerman there in 12th place.
Look how close those lap times are in the midfield. Shuey Christie, the dog doctor, head of Andre van Vollenstein, Wayne Spicer and Greg Besaidnote.
Ian Hardwood, Safiso Temba, Ruan Olberhauser and Fellow Siete getting into the 1:11 bracket. Brilliant lap time there from Fellow.
As we go onto the grid, Sven Gruner does realise that Graham van Breda not riding his own number 1 motorcycle. He's borrowed Rodney McLaughlin's spare bike, so he's going to make the most of that today. Great time by Gareth Besaidnote doing qualifying, and Peter de Vos is on form and on fire.
Yeah, he's been the dark dog so far this season. Watch out for Jaco Goos as well. Michael Smith also looking very racy. Down in pit lane, the atmosphere, you could feel the tension with all the riders. They want to go racing here as we go on the grid now here with Jacques Ackerman, the man all the way down from Cape Town on the Mad Max Kawasaki. The lights are off and a brilliant start from pole position there for Sven Gruner. Like you said, he's got to take advantage now of Graham van Breda not being on that number 1 bike.
Who has got the whole shot as we go through that fast turn number 1 into turn number 2. Sven Gruner is fired up for this race. As we said, Rob, points are up for grabs with Graham battling a little bit with that spare bike. he'll make the most of what he can do. He'll be hoping for a podium place, really. And already big dots is going on through mid-pack. On board with Ian Hardwood from Bridgestone Tires. He's lying in 17th place at the moment, so not a bad start from Ian, but he'll be hoping to go a little bit forward on that one.
Coming into turn 4 for the first time, Teddy Brook. Now he's got, looks like Van Vollenstein right on his tail. A little bit further back, you can see the bright, almost lights there of Sifiso Temba on his Kawasaki. Top of the hill now, it is Sven Gunnar starting to pull away. Peter de Vos can see the leading 3 riders starting to get out front. He wants to try and close that gap. Ackerman up the inside, brilliant move. There's the Dr. Stewie Christie, also trying to line up a move on the inside. No space there. Wayne Spicer not too far behind though. Coming into the final turn, and Gareth Bazano still looks like suffering a little bit with the setup of that bike, but a lot closer to the front end of the field than he's been all season.
Jaco Goos is there with the leaders as well. There is Van Breda, the championship leader. He's in second place. Out front, Sven Gruner. Van Breda sticks a foot out as he goes through in second. Behind him is Besaidenout. Michael Smith in the mix with Jaco Goos. And look out for Evident Trading's Johan Leroux. He's got quite a good start after a poor qualifying. Looks like he's woken up for the race.
Peter de Vos tied to the back end there of Jaco Goos. He's going to try and line up a move going on the inside here. Turn number 4. Very brave to do a move there. He's going to just hold back, try and get the drive. Oh, runs a little bit wide. Brings that Kawasaki back to the apex. Gets good drive. Don't think he's going to be close enough at the top of the hill to get on the inside of Jaco Goos, who we know is one of the latest breakers. Look at Michael Smith trying to go around the outside. No room there.
It's an incredible move as you come up onto the shaft. Oh, man, he puts a foot down there. I wonder if that was a mistake or he did that on purpose. And I've got to say, Rob, I love that Sifiso Temba's bike. It's got those day-glow red headlights on the front of his bike. You can see him from a mile off.
Yeah, you can't miss old Sifiso Temba out on track. One of the most improved riders so far this season, just tumbling those lap times down. Beautiful onboard shot here now with Jaco Goos going into turn 1. Hugs that apex. Listen to the drive that he gets. He's going to go third gear, back down into second gear. Just losing touch a little bit. Peter de Vos around the outside. Not going to make that stick, so just a little bit of a mistake there maybe from Peter de Vos. Brings it back perfectly. De Vos looks like he's getting a little bit frustrated now behind Goos.
What Peter de Vos is doing, taking the late apex so he can get to the inside drive. Can he do it up into turn number 4? Peter de Vos dives up on the inside. He makes the move stick. No, he doesn't. Jaco Goos hangs on. And just behind him, Michael Smith has got the best seat in the house to see all the action.
John T. Collard not too far behind him either. Jacobs Peter de Vos at the top of the hill. That's coming from late break. Oh, that came from miles back. What a brilliant move there from Peter de Vos. Getting a little bit frustrated. He knows he's got the pace to run with Van Breda, not on his number 1 bike, and Gareth Besaidenout as well.
Oh,
so
Van
he wants
Breda
to try
out
and
of the
close
seat
it.
as well as they come down through the left-hand king. Peter de Vos, I mean, he braked that 3 weeks ago to go past. Jaco Goos will be thinking, okay, good idea to hang on to Peter because maybe he's going to pull us right up towards Gareth Besaidenout, who currently lies in 3rd position.
Yeah, those 3 riders know that they've got the pace of Gareth Besaidenout. You can see Peter de Vos, he's already closed that gap down. He's pulled away from Jaco Goos. So Goos struggling a little bit here this weekend. We know he's got a little bit extra pace. This is the battle a little bit further down. Wayne Spicer, Stewie Christie, Sifiso Temba not too far behind them. Jacques Ackerman as well in that good battle, as is Greg Besaidenout. So great racing all the way through the field as we expect.
Stunt SA once again in the mix. Andre van Vollenstein, he's just behind Teddy Brook. That's better than he went last time. Wayne Spicer, don't forget, was our rider of the day last time out, having a tremendous run.
Love that shot of him just using the brake lever there. You could see Teddy Brook a little bit off the pace as well. Just behind him, Andre van Vollenstein and Rodney McLaughlin doing a great job to stick in there. Oh, Johan Leroux now coming under pressure there from John T. Collard, not able to make it stick. So they've got these little groups now forming all the way through the field. But out front, Sven Gruner is still the man. He's just set a 1 minute 3.8. That is incredibly fast.
Just behind Collard is a Pana Ganapathy. He's in no man's land because behind him is that dice with Teddy Brook, Andre van Vollenstein and Rodney McLaughlin having a great ride. He's done a 1 minute 7, which is almost what he did in qualifying. We're only 3 laps into the race.
Yeah, incredible stuff. Great to see a Pana Ganapathy back on form and firing again here in the ZX10 class. You can see Ian Hardwood there. He's coming through, also improving his time, as is fellow Sieta, who's got now down into the 1 minute 10 bracket in that good dice there with Ruan Albaza.
Yeah, Ruan just diving up the inside. Pele goes around the outside, and as they go up into turns 3 and 4, Ruan holds the inside line, finding his way around the Zwartkops track. It's not easy to find your way around the circuit. It's tight and twisty, but Ruan is putting in a great performance, having a wonderful dice. Out front, Sven Gruner has pulled a massive lead on Graham van Breda.
Oh, that is incredible riding here from Sven Gruner. I think he had an extra red square before he went out on track because it's really paying dividend now. The man is fired up, and like you said at the beginning of the show, he had to take advantage of Van Breda not being on his number 1 race bike, and he's doing that to a T. What he won't like is seeing that Van Breda is still comfortably in second there, so he won't be gaining too many points. He needs the likes of Gareth Besaidenout, Jaco Goos, Michael Smith to get closer to Van Breda.
Rob, I'm going to give you some numbers. 103.863. That is fast from Sven
That is
Gruner. That's lap
incredibly
record
fast.
pace.
That is, and on those Bridgestone R10 tyres, just shows you that those Bridgestone tyres are really starting to work now on these Kawasaki machines. And here it's like, oh, Peter de Vos! Oh, that's a big one for Peter de Vos. Turn 4, oh, he puts it down. Did well to not go into the Armco, but Peter de Vos must have been a braking issue going into turn 4.
Absolute hats off to Zwartkops Raceway. The airbags have done their job with Peter de Vos. Can't work out why he ran off the track. There's going to be yellow flags on the track, so no overtaking at that point. But Peter de Vos has made a big mistake, run off the track, and unfortunately is out of this race. But luckily, those airbags have saved him.
Yeah, that did the job perfectly there. Sven Gruner, no such problems for him out front. Peter de Vos did a brilliant job, but once he realized that he was going to hit that Armco, he just put the bike down. So it's experienced riding there from Peter de Vos. We're going to have an onboard replay here now. We're going to see exactly what happens. He's in the dice there with Gareth Pizzano, goes into turn 4, pitches it in, and just no brakes. There's no brakes on that bike.
Looks like he's run out of brakes, you can see it, and the camera flies off the bike, ends up in the turf, and Peter de Vos luckily has walked away from this accident uninjured. Turn number 4 is not the place you want to get off a motorcycle, and that airbag has absolutely done its job today.
Right, Peter, if you could just bring that camera back for us, please, that'll be brilliant. We'll send you the bill, but yeah, really did well to save that and come out of that unscathed. Hopefully we'll see him in race number 2. Look at this battle now. Johan Leroux now, Jonty Collard still right on his tail, cannot find a way past. That has left now Gareth Pizzano in a comfortable 3rd place with this battle now for 4th between Jaco Kroos and Michael Schmidt.
Schmidt seems to be able to close up a little bit on the brakes, but then Jaco gets on the power just a bit earlier and gets away from him. So I think that dice might go to the wire, but it does look like Jaco Kroos has got this one covered.
Good to see Gareth Pizzano just gain some form back a little bit here, getting a podium, got one more lap remaining, and he'll hope to bring that bike home in 3rd place. We haven't seen him anywhere near close to the podium this season so far, so really just swung the spanners on that bike, getting it working for him. But still can't close on Graham from Medar, and Sven Gruner will want him to be a lot closer in race number 2.
The battle for 6th position on track continues. Johan Leroux, Jonty Collard, Apanaganapathy, it's as close as that. And by the way, that promotes Johan Leroux to the leader of Class C with Peter de Vos as demise on that last lap.
It's a good ride from Johan Leroux, because half an hour ago he was still sleeping in the pits. So to come out on track and finish the top 6, that's brilliant stuff. But final couple of corners now for Sven Gruner. That's 25 valuable championship points and 5 more in his aim to become the 2018 champion on Graham from Medar. He comes in, I love that sliding that bike into the final turn. He is full of confidence this weekend. Looking at him in the pit lane, he's got the red mist in his eyes, and he's done it so far in race number 1. Has a look behind, he can't even see Graham from Medar yet. That's the lead that he's got.
The Stefan Udy Stocks Kawasaki crosses the finish line almost 10 seconds adrift of Sven Gruner. So it's Van Medar in second, Gareth Pizzano, Jaco Kroos, Michael Schmidt, Johan Leroux, Jonty Collard and Apanaganapathy rounding up the top 8. Let's chat to the Zwartkops dirt track champion, Peter de Vos.
You know, unfortunately, I came into turn 4, grabbed a handful of brakes, there was nothing. I noticed that I pulled the lever against my fingers and there was no more play left, and I let go and grab again, but it was too late. So I tried to slow down as much as I can, see if I could turn it before the wall, but 2 meters from the wall I had to bail. So unfortunate for me, you know, but at least I walked away from the crash, and the next race I'll do better. And huge thanks to all our series sponsors, Red Square, all the TV coverage, Kawasaki and Bridgestone, and my personal sponsors, Young Ngozi, Line Industrial, Rotopack Paper and Flexo Printing Supplies. Thanks guys.
Well, if race 2 is going to be anything like race 1 number 1 action, we cannot wait to bring it to you right after this break. Welcome back to Zwartkops Raceway. It's round 4 action of the 2018 Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup Championship Series here at the Extreme Festival of Motorsport. The crowd have turned out in their numbers to enjoy the best in two-wheeled motorsport in South Africa. And down in pit lane, the riders are getting ready now for race number 2 action.
I think Apanaganapathy should join Barry Hilton on stage.
That could be another career choice for him there. Thumbs up from Graham Fromidar. He knows it's all about consolidation this weekend. Great to see Brandon Good helping out Teddy Brook there. And fellow Siete, watch out for that man. He's improving his lap times with every time that he hits out on track. Now down into the 1 minute 10 bracket. That is incredible stuff from Mr. Siete. On pole position though, Sven Gunnar looking up at the clouds. You can see a couple of spots of rain earlier on. So we're going to have to wait and see if that plays a role here now in race number 2. Great to see Peter de Vos getting that bike fixed and lining up on the grid.
As we go on board with Ruan Oberholzer, the red lights will come on, the red lights will go off, and we will be racing for 8 laps around the 2.4 kilometer Zwartkops Raceway. A lot of the riders battle with the circuit. It's quite technical, but a lot of the riders love the place. So let's see, and it's Graham van Breda on the spare bike. He gets the whole shot.
I think that's the first time Rodney McLaughlin's bike has ever seen the front end of this field. But from Breda, with that number 1 plate is out front, and Sven Gunnar knows he doesn't want to be held back at all during this race, so he goes around the outside of From Breda, and it looks like he is now leading this race. From Breda, he missed a trick there. He had to hold back Sven Gunnar because Gunnar now, with clear track in front of him, is out of here. But look who's in 3rd place. Peter de Vos. Let's hope he has brakes going into turn 4 this time. Yes, he does.
Graham van Breda obviously turning right because the right leg went right across the track as he did it, just blocking me. A bit like Speedway, you just do that so nobody can overtake you.
It's a good way of doing it, not only to help steer the bike, but also just to put off the rider behind you, not to make the move on the inside, which Peter de Vos, can you believe it, from the dirt up into 2nd place already. What a ride so far from Peter de Vos. Look at this gaggle. Van Vollenstein is with Spicer and Rodney McLaughlin there. Greg Bazano not too far behind as well. And here comes Safiso Temba. Don't rule in. I'm like, sideways stuff there from Sven Gunnar. Peter de Vos in 2nd. From Breda in 3rd, so some work to do. Gareth Bazano, Zwartkops and Michael Smith. John Ticolard, a much better start as well.
Fantastic dicing all the way through the field. It's always a feature of the Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup. There is Jonty Collard. Blue and white crash helmet as they go down into the tight turn number 2. Peter de Vos is looking racy. Sven Gunnar, I hope he's got rear view mirrors because de Vos has got other ideas for this race.
It just shows you what Peter de Vos can do when he's actually got brakes. I cannot believe this. From landing up in the deck in one of the fastest turns here at Zwartkops Raceway to pick it up and to be running in 2nd place, that is incredible stuff and challenging. Sven Gunnar out front. Gunnar will be looking behind him and won't believe that he can see Peter de Vos there.
Oh, great shot of Sven Gunnar as we come up to the shelf, hard on the brakes. Peter de Vos, he'll be riding around with 2 fingers on that brake lever the whole time because he'd hate a repeat of what happened in race number 1.
This is the battle now for 4th place. Zwartkops got Zwartkops and Michael Smith for company. Not too far behind them is John Ticolard. So brilliant ride there, trying to get up with his teammate. But out front, the top 3 a lot closer. Peter de Vos, I still can't get over this ride. Peels it into the final turn, gets on the gas, running very impressive lap times. And Sven Gunnar will be loving seeing that Peter de Vos is ahead of Graham van Breda, taking some more valuable championship points off him.
Van Breda on the Stefanuti Stocks Kawasaki. That's bike number 1 because he is last year's champion. He's dominated the championship a little bit this year so far. So this is going to even things out in the points and it'll be a lot closer going into the next round.
Yeah, it's definitely going to heat things up, as is that battle now for 4th place as we go on board now with Zwartkops. Just watch this. 4th gear, roll it off, get the bike hitting the apex, and then it's flat out stuff. 200 horsepower at its maximum through there. And then just clam on those brakes down to 3rd gear into the very tricky right-hander. A couple of little bumps that you've got to dodge going in and coming out. Beautiful line there from Zwartkops.
Yeah, perfect line from him. Sven Gunnar is not getting away. Lap times a little bit off first heat. First heat he got down to the 1 minute 3, still in the 1 minute 4s for this race. De Vos is also doing 4s, as is Graham van Breda. So they're all in the 1 minute 4s at the moment.
That's the beauty about these Bridgestone R10 tyres. They really do hold their own and are able to maintain good, consistent, fast lap times around Zwartkops Raceway. So these guys really taking full advantage of that. Look at this battle. This is the battle from 9th place all the way down to 16th. We've got Teddy Brooker, Panaganapati, Jacques Ackerman, Stewie Christie, Rodney McLaughlin, Andre van Vollenstein, Greg Bazano, and Wayne Spicer, Safiso Temba, and Ruan Olbazer, not too far behind, as is fellow Siete.
Can't help noticing Safiso Temba's red headlights just behind him. He's flicking that switch. Get out of my way, guys. And Stewie Christie's been watching Mark Marquez. Look at the lean angle he is getting out of turn number 2.
Oh, I love that. Stewie Christie's 120 in the shade, and he just comes out there hanging off the bike, standing it up Marquez style. Brilliant stuff from these guys. On board now with Johan Leroux. He's at the front end of this gaggle. Do not look behind you, Johan Leroux, because you've got 10 very fast Red Square Kawasaki Masters Cup riders that want to take that 6th place from you.
Leroux is so late on the brakes with the Avidan Kawasaki at the top end of the shaft. In fact, he's got a little bit of a gap going on right now with the Panaganapati just behind him. Teddy Brook has set the fastest lap of this group in the last lap. So I think Teddy Brooks on the move.
Oh, here we go.
Van Brada's on him.
Yeah,
Van Brada's on Peter.
the battle for second place is now starting to heat up. Van Breda knows that he cannot lose those vital championship points. He's now closed down on Peter de Vos, who's done a brilliant job. It has to be said. But here comes Van Breda now on that Rodney McLaughlin spare bike on the inside. Will he make the move? He's not going to this time, but he knows he's got the extra pace now. Maybe a little bit extra tyre wear on that bike to make the move and get up into second place.
The problem for Graham is Peter de Vos is squaring the corners off. So look at that. He's using the big wide line going in. So unless Graham does something on the brakes, he's not going to get past that bike in a hurry.
Yeah, maybe in turn number 4 would be the best option with Peter de Vos maybe still in the back of his mind, thinking about that brake lever. Let's see now. They're coming up to the top of the hill. There is Sven Gruner, your leader. Here comes Van Breda on the inside. Will he make the move? He's lined it up perfectly. Used the drive that he got out of turn 4 up the inside. A little bit of a block pass. Here comes Peter de Vos fighting back on the inside. Will he make it stick? Oh, just not close enough. So Van Breda, that's exactly what he needs to do now, because that is 20 valuable championship points in the hunt for that number 1 plate.
And of course what happens is as they mix it up, the leader, Sven Gruner, gets away from them, because when you overtake somebody in the middle of a corner, you're going to hold him up very slightly and you lose that half a second. Oh, Johan Leroux, he pitches that thing and he's not giving up that position for anything in this world. Teddy Brooks says, Johan, if you wanted that badly, maybe I'm going to have to give it to you. Great aerial shots as they come down into turn number 2 at speed.
Yeah, that battle is still raging there, all the way down to Andre van Vollenstein there in about 14th. Greg Poseidon not out of it as well in 15th. Remember, you only score points in the top 15. Teddy Brook now trying to get the drive, trying to line up a move going into turn number 4. Will he get the drive? He's going to square it up on the inside. We know how late on the brakes Johan Leroux is. There is a fellow Sieta, Ian Hardwood and Ruan Olberhauser, improving their lap times every time. Looks like Hardwood is just struggling maybe with a little bit of setup, because running a couple of seconds off the pace that we know he can run.
I'm glad Ian Hardwood is wearing those brightly coloured letters, otherwise we'd never know where he is on the track. Only joking in, but this is a great ride from Ian, and he really is one of the stalwarts of the class. Great to see him in there.
Well, not only does he race, during the pits and the intervals, he's talks to all the riders about the Bridgestone tyres. If you need any information, they go to him. So really is a busy man over the weekend. On board here now with a Panaganapathy. He's trying to make a move now on Ackerman. Gets brilliant drive. Ackerman a little bit wide, and that is a brave move from a Panaganapathy to go on the inside in turn number 1.
Problem is he might run wide, giving Jacques Ackerman the chance to come back up on the inside turn number 2. No, he can't do it. That's a great move from a punter. Didn't hold him up at all. Now he'll have his sight sets on the guys in front of him. That is Teddy Brook and of course Johan Leroux.
17th place now, man. Safiso Temba with those bright headlights on their bike number 63. Great to see this guy improving with every single lap that he's out on track. Speaking of improving, Sven Gruner has just dominated this race weekend so far. He's going to get those 50 points in the bag now for that championship. Remember, he was 2 years ago your number 1 rider. He wants that number 1 plate back and badly.
Hard on the gas as he comes down to that final turn. The bike is squirming under the brakes. He's not slowing down at all. 1 minute 4:34, so 0.1 quick on that lap. The last lap board is out for our leader, Sven Gruner. Behind him, Stefan Stocks, Kawasaki, Graham from Bra, riding the spare bike. It obviously has been a bit of a problem for him today on the setup of their bike. Just shows you how important setup is on these ZX10s.
Yeah, Graham from Bra, when he does get that number 1 bike back up and running, we know that he's going to be a big threat to Sven Gruner at the front end of this field. Gruner taking full advantage of the fact that Van Breda is not 100% ready for this race meeting, and he's going to pick up some brilliant championship points. But the lap times that Sven Gruner has set out front have been incredible here this weekend. Testament to how good not only the bike and Sven is, but also the Bridgestone tyres and the track here at Zwartkops.
Late on the brakes as he comes up onto the shelf, down into second gear. Just to mention though, Rodney McLaughlin lent his motorcycle to Graham van Breda. That's the bike out there now. I don't know, I think I'd lend my wife before I lend my motorbike out to Graham from Bernard in particular.
100%, that is a big risk there for sure, but it's been one that's paid off for Graham from Bernard, certainly. And I know that Van Bernard will really respect that and appreciate it, because it's really kept him in this championship fight. Sven Gruner across the line now. He will take 50 points on the day, and that is one big step in ahead to regain that number 1 plate in the championship. Peter de Vos, 3rd place, has got to be the ride of the day.
Fantastic performance from Peter de Vos. Let's take a look at the official results. Sven Gruner, Graham van Bernard, Peter de Vos leading Class C, Gareth Poseidon, Jaco Gous, Michael Smith, John Carter and Johan Leroux in 8th place. Let's catch up with my rider of the day, Michael Smith.
No, it's great. We had a difficult time to get here, but yeah, fitness is still not there, so hopefully in the next 2 or 3 rounds I'll even get a bit better one. But yeah, no, it was an excellent day. We had beautiful weather, so yeah, no, everything worked out for me. and with all the support from my father-in-law and my brother-in-law, Yaku. So we're doing quite well. I'm happy.
A domination day there for Sven Gruner out front.
Awesome, man. The championship's so close. Any wins is just like gold at the moment. So having that 10-point lead gives me a bit of leeway, but I mean, Graham's always there, and it's not going to make it easy. So when we go to East London, it's one of his good tracks. So I hope I can just even maintain the gap. That would be the best outcome. So yeah, looking forward to East London. Just want to say thanks to Kawasaki, Red Square, and TRP, and of course my mechanic Steve Kaner.
Top 3 riders there at the TRP podium. Remember to join us next time out on the 16th of June at the Foster Circuit in South Africa. It's the East London Grand Prix circuit.